What's going on, everyone? If you like the videos I'm putting out on this channel, remember to hit that like button. And remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you get all my content right to your device every time I upload. And I thank you for your continued support. In Dragon Ball Super Episode 92, Kaba teaches Caulifla how to transform into a Super Saiyan, and he speaks about unlocking a secret tingling feeling in your back. And the fandom was outraged because many people did not understand the meaning behind the tingly back. They thought that it undermined the previous transformations, and they felt that it didn't make any sense. Well, actually, it does make sense. The problem is finding information about how this fits into real martial arts philosophy and how it relates to Dragon Ball is actually really difficult to find online. But don't worry, because on this video, I'm going to fully explain to you exactly why the tingly back transformation theory actually makes sense, because it's all rooted in Japanese mysticism as well as the secrets of the human body when it comes to the martial arts. Many people don't even know this, but I guarantee you after the video, you'll know.
Hey, this is Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z. You're listening and watching Geekdom 101. And if you haven't already subscribed, then look at these links and do so.
So we know that transforming into a Super Saiyan or a Super Saiyan, however you want to pronounce it, involves anger and involves being triggered. But in Super Episode 92, Kaba explains to Caulifla that the way you do it is you tap into a secret tingly feeling in your back. Like there's some kind of tingly feeling you tap into. And I think the problem with the tingly feeling that a lot of fans had is that it was never talked about before Super. Nowhere in Dragon Ball Z, whether it be when Goku's training with Gohan, or even when Gohan's training Goten, or anything from Vegeta, talks about the tingly back. But the reason why they don't talk about it is because the tingly back is entirely something that is foreign to those outside of Japan. If you live in Japan, you actually know what the tingly back represents, and it represents something called tanden, which we're going to talk about here on this video. But joining me on this video, a man who needs no introduction whenever we talk about real life martial arts and how it relates to Dragon Ball, and really where Toriyama gets his ideas from, because this tingly back thing is a very real thing when it comes to Eastern philosophy, when it comes to monks, when it comes to martial arts. And now hopefully the rest of the fandom who watched this video will understand a little bit better. This is the guy who I bring on. He just opened a brand new Twitch channel. You want to check him out on Twitch. I will leave a link down below for y'all to check him out. And of course, YouTube and Battle Geek Plus. Please welcome back Kendamu.
What's up?
All right, you're a man of not many words when I introduce you.
No, I don't really have a monologue ready to go. I'm just like, read the damn manga, or yo, or whoa, or something like that.
Of course, my favorite is whoa.
Oh yeah, I've been whoa doing with my childhood best friend on Twitter for like a year now. We've got over 2,000 replies in that thread alone of just whoa dude, whoa dude.
That should violate some kind of rule on Twitter at some point.
Well, I mean, if like you're friends with both of us, just mute the conversation. It's okay.
Right. Let's talk about the tingly back. A lot of people were either confused or kind of irritated by the tingly back. And really, I can't blame them, Kendamu, man, because finding information about what tanden is online is not particularly that easy. There's not really a Wikipedia entry. There's not too much information out there unless you study martial arts. And there's going to be some people who are watching this who have studied it, who are going to know what we're talking about and understand Eastern philosophy. And then there's others who have no idea. So hopefully we can explain to them why the tingly back actually makes sense when it comes to the martial arts. The floor is yours.
Okay, so basically for this, I kind of have to give a crash course in how energy flows through the body in like an ancient Asian medicine and martial arts sense. So everyone who watches Dragon Ball, they know about ki or chi, depending on which version you're into, anime or manga. But there's some stuff that isn't really detailed so much in Dragon Ball because chi is mostly used in like that fantasy kung fu way of, projecting it and using it to become insanely strong and all this cool fantasy stuff. But there is, like when we normally talk about things on your channel, a realistic basis somewhere deep in there.
Toriyama is a very intelligent, knowledgeable man when it comes to the world. He knows things that some of us may never know unless we do the research.
Right. So, and being someone like, I've been into martial arts for a long time, like I've naturally come across, the concept of ki or chi, and, studied like meditations and like how, ki, like the yelling that you do in like a karate class or something, what that sort of represented in like an ancient context, and like how it could be used like metaphorically today. And with the way energy flows through the body, you've already used the term tanden. Tanden is a Japanese term for what the Chinese call dantian or tantian, which is like a center of energy in the body, like a place where it collects and transforms and, continues its flow. And there's 3 of them in like the Japanese and Chinese sense. They're similar to like chakras and like chakra meditation, or like if people watch Naruto, like you have the gates that open up, like Guy and Lee use, like they open up these gates and get more powerful. The gates are similar. So what you have 3 of them. You have one that's supposed to be like located kind of like in the center of your head, like between the eyes. It's kind of considered the third eye if it's something that's really strong and developed. You have a higher level of perception and things like that. Tenshinhan has a literal third eye, and that's sort of a reference to that.
Yes.
And then down low, beneath the navel a little bit and into the body, like in the center mass, like the center of gravity, that is the lower tanden, and that's like the seat of ki in the body. And usually when you need to put more ki into it sort of thing, it's usually in reference to that area of the body.
Yeah, it's from your crotch area. We did a whole video about this before. What we're talking about now is the tingly back being a little bit higher, closer to your chest.
Right.
And there's a whole different thing there.
Right. There's one more besides the higher and the lower one, which is the middle one. The middle one is like in the center of the chest, almost like where the heart is, right? And that one is associated with emotion. And the energy as it goes through your body in the ancient Chinese context.
And ironically enough, when you transform, it's based on emotion as well.
Exactly.
Anger, rage, frustration.
Exactly.
Sadness in Trunks' case, in the future Trunks when he
Exactly.
sees Gohan die.
Right. And like
it all makes sense, folks.
Yeah.
It actually makes sense.
And the way it flows down the center front of your body in a line and then back up the spine. What you're doing as a Super Saiyan is you are taking a hold of and harnessing that emotional energy, like from the heart, that burning passion, that rage, that whatever it is, and transforming it into a type of ki that is flowing through the entire body, through the spinal column, and giving you insane amounts of strength that are exclusive to Saiyan heritage. So that's why there's that tingly feeling in the back, because you're pulling from that center into the back. It's based on real stuff. The Bruce Lee, we've talked about Bruce. Last time I was on here, we talked about Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was considered to be someone who had a really strong sort of center tanden. He was an insanely passionate guy. It drove him to do all the cool stuff that he did and become as great as he did. Like, that is, pretty much the real life human equivalent of drawing from your passion and that sort of thing. In real life, it's not exclusive to monkey people from outer space who know Kung Fu.
People are going to reference that dub line. We have to talk about that line where Goku says it comes from a need, not a desire. That is a dub-only line. That was not in the Japanese version. And I think that confused people because many Dragon Ball Super fans never went back to watch it in Japanese. And I've been telling people from day one, you got to rewatch Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z in Japanese. And like you've been telling them, read the manga.
Read the damn
Either
manga.
Way, it's a win-win either way, but I think people always reference that line when that line is a dub-only line. It's not about need or desire. It could be either one. Goku needed the power. and he desired it. Gohan, same thing. He needed the power and he desired it, but also he was triggered by the death of 16 and the possibility of his dad and the rest of his friends dying. So there's all these different reasons. When it comes to Caulifla and Kale and Kaba, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that these transformations aren't too much, or, you know, if you think that these characters are getting their forms too soon, that's fine. That's your opinion. There's nothing wrong with it. But the idea of the Tingly Back not making sense is incorrect, because when you look into it, it does make sense. But I don't blame people for not understanding that, because this stuff is not common knowledge. It really isn't.
No, it's not. It's not common knowledge at all. It's very rooted in the martial arts. It's very rooted in like Chinese medicine, like alternative sort of traditional Chinese medicine is what I want to say. And if you're not really into those things, then you really can't like get that. And whether you actually believe in, you know, ki or chi or not, you know, it's still a cool little metaphor. So like it still all sort of makes sense, you know, it just might not be the same terminology.
I feel like when Vegeta taught Kaba how to do it, you know, he did get him angry. He did trigger that anger, and that's what worked. But I feel like what happened there was maybe Kaba, when he transformed, each subsequent transformation that he probably did off screen as he was trying to train his body to get used to the form, I feel like with that is he figured out on his own, you know, with whether it be meditation or just understanding your own body, how to tap into that power without getting angry, which is the same thing that Goku and Gohan and everybody else did. People have often asked, well, they got angry the first time and they transformed, right? Or they were frustrated, whatever. What about how later on in Dragon Ball, they can just transform without even thinking? Boom. Bam, they're transformed. And it's all because they figured this out. That's the real reason. They figured out the Tingly Back. But the problem was DBZ never explained it. DB Super did.
No, they never explained it. And, you know, Kaba and Kale and Caulifla, like, they also have, besides being, like, prodigies in their own right, in their own universe, on their own planet,
everyone's a prodigy.
Well, yeah, otherwise it would be boring. They also had the opportunity to learn directly from the people who had to experiment and get things wrong and stuff like that, to learn how to do this, how to control it, how to make it better, and then later how to improve on it. And some of the improvements they made actually weren't that much better at all and weren't used anymore after a while. Grade 2, grade 3, stuff like that. You know, like all of that stuff, like those weren't real improvements. Those were mistakes through experimentation. And then you have these people who are now, you know, years later, they have these kids who, you know, are extremely powerful but don't know about transforming. They're going, oh, hey, let me tell you about this thing that I've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into discovering on my own. I can pass it on to you now, and you're going to have it much easier because I've already made all the mistakes.
Yeah, I figured it out, and so I'm going to show you how to do it.
Exactly.
Simple as that. That's what teachers do. Thank you so much, Kendamu, for being here. Check out Kendamu's Twitch, check out his YouTube, and check out Battle Geek Plus. And tell us about the Twitch, man. It's a brand new project for you.
Yeah, so I've discovered that live broadcast is more my jam. So, and Twitch, you know, I also like playing video games. So, you know, I'm kind of moving over to Twitch, and I've got, you know, 2 places that I play video games on there. Once a week I play with Ryan on Battle Geek Plus, and the other days I play on Kendamu. I play old school games, I play Dragon Ball games, I play new stuff. When people want to ask me this stuff about the Tingly Back or whatever, it's much easier for me to just explain it on Twitch than it is to come up with this scripted video that, you know, people are going to watch and misinterpret and things like that.
Check it out. Thank you so much. And thank all of you for listening. Leave your comments down below about what you think about this. And we'll talk to y'all later.
Have a good one. Remember, read the damn manga.